Whipping all this dope up in the trap house. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.
Stay savage, your boy Cino Ventura. What's poppin'? Today we are back, and guess what? We got ourselves another theory. As you guys know, yesterday we talked about Boruto, and we talked about the potential of him getting his scar from Kawaki. Obviously, I talked about it could be possibly a Sasuke accident. I talked about a lot of different scenarios and factors that could possibly happen for Boruto's eye. And we talking about the Otsutsuki invading again and coming trying to retrieve his eye, as well as rogue ninjas and other sorts like that. If you guys haven't checked that video out, you go ahead and check that out. But today we are back, and this time we're going to talk about vessels. Now, before I break down the topic of the video, I'm going to talk about Kawaki. Kawaki is a vessel. I'm going to talk about Sasuke. Sasuke is a vessel. So what we've seen in this series, a lot of times known as Naruto, we've seen a lot of vessels going around, you know what I'm saying? Now, I know Kimimaro was supposed to be a vessel for Orochimaru at one point. We know Sasuke Uchiha was supposed to be a vessel for Orochimaru at one point, and I'm pretty sure Orochimaru had other vessels, but he more so wanted Sasuke due to Sasuke having a Sharingan, and he wanted that body with that bloodline, with that KK Genkai. That way he was able to learn and master all types of ninjutsus and jutsus that he wanted to study, and basically go into the secrets of the forbidden arts. Now, I'll say this as a whole. We've seen so many times in the Boruto series, as well as the Naruto series, vessels popping up. You know, we see the vessel, which is Kawaki, that Jigen has, you know, scientifically engineered with the molecular structure and also gave him the karma seal, you know. Then we see, you know, Sasuke, and then we see Kimimaro, as well as probably a whole bunch of miscellaneous characters in the Naruto realm that was potential candidates for Orochimaru and to be his vessel, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a reoccurring feat, you know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily know the objective of Jigen in terms of what he wants and what he aims to achieve out of like taking the vessel, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what he's actually planning on doing once he gets Kawaki back. We don't know what Kawaki's like overall objective as the vessel is supposed to be. But what I do know is we have a new third party, which is the main character. So kind of not a third party, but he is also similar to Kawaki. The reason why I say this, Boruto Uzumaki has inherited the karma seal from Momoshiki Otsutsuki. You know, after the battle when the Otsutsuki invasion took place with the 5 Kage and Sasuke, you know, Boruto got the final blow. Momoshiki passed on the karma seal to him because he said, you know, those blue eyes will be the ruin of you. This will be the destruction of you. So he basically was like, here's some help from me, even though you killed me, right? So Boruto got the karma seal. Now, if you guys remember early on in the series, Boruto also had like got this connection with Toneri. Then we find out that he had the ability known as the Jogan. If you watch episode 1 of the anime, you know, you see this character getting all these different abilities, and you see him having all these powers, right? So a lot of the abilities of the Jogan are a little bit misunderstood. We don't necessarily know what it is, but we know for a fact that it has something to do with power. You know, it's something that the Otsutsuki clan members are probably going to fear, because we saw my boy Momoshiki kind of get like frantic once he saw that eye. So obviously once we get a little bit more into the story, we're going to learn more about it. Now, then we look at, you know, Kawaki. Kawaki has like the karma seal just like Boruto. He has the molecular structure. So what if at some point in the series, my boy Jigen loses the ability to basically take, you know, Kawaki, and Boruto basically says, instead of taking Kawaki or something like that, he sacrificed himself and says, you can take me as a vessel. And then not to mention, Boruto has this eye, Boruto has this karma seal. What if Jigen offers Kawaki a deal? Like, he's like, yo, instead of you, you know, you can bring Boruto Uzumaki to me and I'll let you go. And, you know, it's just something like that. You know, maybe Kawaki betrays him that way. Now, I know that's a bit of a reach when I say, you know, Kawaki will sell out Boruto, because, you know, if they're supposed to be like eternal rivals or supposed to be good friends at some point in the series, I don't think Kawaki's going to sell him out. So that's just like a scenario. But what if at some point or another, instead of going after Kawaki or something happens to Kawaki, Jigen later turns his like attention to Boruto and want to take Boruto as this vessel. Now, I mind you, Boruto doesn't have the ability to change his molecular structure like my boy Kawaki can, he doesn't have the ability to change his arm into like a blade or nothing like that, but we do know he has different abilities regarding, like the Jogan, his Karma Seal. He has chakra reserves from the Uzumaki. He has chakra from the Utsuki clan, plus karma came from Utsuki, Hagoromo, and Hamura. Then he has Hyuga bloodline, and not to mention he might have traces and remnants of the nine-tailed fox in him, hence the whiskers. I know a lot of people like to argue and say, well, he doesn't have the nine-tails chakra because, the nine-tails is still in Naruto. But the thing is, if you look at Ginkaku and Kinkaku, they develop whiskers from eating the flesh of the tailed beast, and that's how they became the people that became pseudo Jinchurikis, and they had his power. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Kushina didn't have whiskers, so that's not a trait of the nine tails. Well, the thing is, Kushina wasn't born from a Jinchuriki. She wasn't born from somebody who had the nine tails inside of them. She was older and she received the nine tails when she was about 11, 12 years old, versus Naruto was born from a woman who had, the nine tails inside of her, so that's why he developed the whiskers traits. And then like Himawari and Boruto, they're both born from Naruto, and Naruto still has the nine tails inside him. So there is some type of chakra connection with them. We may see that play a part later on. But what I'm saying is Boruto has all these different feats. He has all these different connections. He has all these different power-ups. You know what I'm saying? He is kind of like Kawaki in a sense. Maybe Kawaki has a little bit more of a grasp on his abilities than Boruto does. But at the same time, once Boruto catches up, Boruto is going to be a dominant character. Dominant as in he's going to know the proficiencies of his jutsu, and he's going to have a good understanding and mastery of his abilities. Not to mention there is still the potential that Boruto may actually learn a sage mode. Now I do know that is something a lot of people don't want to see, because then he would be coming out as a carbon copy of Naruto, because obviously he would know shadow clones, he knows the Rasengan, and he would be learning sage mode, and that's pretty much what Naruto did. Not to mention we have Mitsuki, who is somebody who has a mastery over sage mode. He has a legendary sage mode of his own right. We don't know the extent of it. We might see it in this coming up arc, but it's like Boruto has all these different capabilities. Not to mention he's a genius, he's a prodigy. He has a lot of grasping of like jutsus really quickly. So it's like this kid is going to have these high levels of chakra. He's going to have all these miscellaneous power-ups that makes him really, really strong. Why Jigen just don't be like, hey, you know what, Kawaki, I'm tired of your disrespect. I'm gonna take Boruto, and then maybe Jigen could sell him something on a dream, dissing Naruto. That'll just be really tight. Now, obviously, I don't really think this is gonna happen, but it's more of a discussion video. That's why it's a what if scenario. This is a what if for the Boruto franchise. It's like, what if Boruto became Jigen's vessel instead of Kawaki? You know what I mean? That would just overall be dope, because it'll just be completely out of left field. Because if you look at the whole series for Boruto, everything we know about Boruto has been, my boy Jigen going after Kawaki. Jigen has to do everything to get Kawaki back. This vessel cost is the amount of a small country. You know what I'm saying? This vessel is so important to us. We have to, get this vessel back at all costs. There's no doubt in our mind that we won't get him back, and if you do fail, I'm gonna kill you. In the car, the outer car, they all prioritize getting Kawaki back, learning the intel about the village to get Kawaki. So what if there was a scapegoat for that? What if Boruto was like that secondary scapegoat? Because not to mention, I feel like I don't think it's the fact that he has the molecular structure and the ability to change his arms at will and stuff like that. I feel like that was like DLC for Kawaki's character. I feel like that was an add-on to Kawaki's character, just so he can have extra abilities if he was basically trying to change his body to Kawaki's body. I think the whole proven factor that we're going to see here, and the major key point for Jigen to want Kawaki, is the fact that Kawaki was the only person able to take the karma seal. He was the only person to receive the karma seal without actually dying, and then basically fighting on throughout the series. And then when you look at Boruto, we see Boruto as a character who got the karma seal too. He inherited directly from Momoshiki, so it's not necessarily the great value version that Kawaki has. I hate to say it that way, because obviously the karma seal was transferred from Jigen to Kawaki, and Kawaki didn't actually get that power blessed upon him, versus it was it was a forced experimentation, and then he went through some pain for it. So I feel like maybe Kawaki's karma doesn't have the full extent of Boruto's karma, And then if we see Boruto's karma, being authentic and he having like the full Otsutsuki power up, maybe Jigen may take interest in that. But overall, like I said, this is a what if scenario. This is probably never going to happen in the series, but it's still a nice thing to look at. And if it does happen, then it's gonna be like, whoa, this is completely out of left. Let me know your personal thoughts and personal opinions on, Boruto possibly becoming a vessel for Jigen. Let me know how you feel about me talking about this topic. If you have any other what if scenarios for Boruto, let me know those in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. With that being said, my name is Shino Bentro. Stay true and stay real. Like always, give me your opinions and have a blessed day. See you guys later. Bye.